Hi everyone, so here is a brief overview of a 2017 Volkswagen Jetta 1.4 liter turbo gasoline i4. This is the SE trim level. I don't believe it has any factory options beyond the usual like mats and stuff like that. 150 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. It gets pretty good fuel economy. These cars get lambasted a lot for their interior materials, which I will certainly not disagree with. So I don't particularly like this car terribly a whole lot, but it's a very good commuter car, and the build quality is very solid. So I would personally, even though I'm kind of a snob about interior materials, I would rather have a car that has hard plastic but is screwed together really well than a car with soft plastic that is not very solid feeling, if you know what I mean. So this car, it hits all the basic Germanic build quality things, but just the materials are the things that it gets a lot of crap about. So we'll go over that a little bit more on the inside, but overall it's just a solid, pretty quiet commuter car. I haven't really driven it very much, so I can't really talk about driving too much, and by driving it not very much, I mean driving it down the driveway, driving it back, and turning it around. So I haven't had it on the road yet, but I've driven the Mark 6 Jettas before, and they do drive nicely. I particularly like the way the 1.8 liter drives, so I'd be curious to find out how this 1.4 does. I should have a driving video up, not 100% sure, but either way, if I don't end up getting a video, just let me know in the comments. But enough rambling, and we've got some LED accenting here. These are 16-inch wheels. They're on snow tires. Just halogen headlights. There's no fogs. This is a loaner car. The Jetta is in for a few different things. It needs to have a carbon cleanup. There's an extended warranty on the intake manifold. I don't know exactly the full details on that, but that's covered under warranty. And the gearbox casing, the gasket for it, was getting kind of not so great. So it was leaking a little bit of fluid, so they're just flushing that out, putting a new gasket on it. So that's why we have this car kicking around. For anybody who's wondering, the carbon issue is about a 6-hour labor, but because the intake manifold thing is covered by Volkswagen, that saves 4 hours worth of labor of getting the intake manifold off. So we're just getting the carbon cleaned up at the same time. So it's a black car, obviously. Not going to go over much there. It does have smart key, or Kessie, which is the Volkswagen word for it. This is the key for the vehicle. So just a smart key, you know, your usual smart key stuff. Lock it, unlock it. There we go. Turn the lights off so it stops dinging at us for a little bit. These are fully manual leatherette seats. All the interior materials are all hard plastic everywhere. This is hard too. This is squishy, but everything else is hard everywhere. It's snowing a little bit, so we'll get in, but we have nice rubber floor mats at least. Manual tilt telescopic steering column. You know, power door locks, power mirrors. That was the steering column you just heard locking. Power windows, power trunk release, not power trunk release, but there's the trunk release. Hood release is down there. We'll check that out in a bit. Panel dim, headlights on or off. Pretty self-explanatory. Same thing as you get in pretty much every other VW product. There's no vanity lights in this trim level. There is a little sunglasses holder up here. It does have a sunroof. Here's your interior lighting controls here. And these are your little ambient lights when you have the headlights on. They kind of shine down and glow red, just like in a lot of other Volkswagens and Audis. The dashboard is all hard. I know the upper trim levels are a little bit softer, but they're still nowhere near Mark 7 or Mark 5 standards, if you ask me. But it does have a nice leather wrap steering wheel, and this is a nice kind of Mark 7 Golf steering wheel. It might even be the exact same steering wheel. And they've done a couple things to try to make the interior a little bit nicer, but it's just not up to par with anywhere near if you're used to a Mark 7 Golf. So this is just kind of a volume vehicle for the US market. This is all just hard plastic, of course, but it has a nice new Volkswagen infotainment system, which I like. It's a lot nicer looking than their old head units, with the main menu right over here. Actually, I guess it's still booting up. Okay, remember what I said about liking it? I don't like how slow it takes to... Yeah, the same song I always have in all my videos. Oh, I just turned it off. Crap. Alright, come on. Here's the main menu. You can scroll through your different functions. It's fairly responsive. So this one doesn't have nav, obviously, but I like the unit for how much I've played with it. These look nice, but they feel kind of horrible to use. This one's the best. Decent clicks, no problems there. This one's a little flimsy feeling, but this is like all mechanically connected, and it's hard to move it, and this is the worst switch in the whole car. The heated seat controls, all the buttons feel fine. The shifter feels alright. Not a whole lot of bright work down here, but there's your smart key. Starting e-brake right here. This, luckily, has carried over the Volkswagen build quality, so this can ratchet to different positions and all the way up to reset it. And there's your storage. So that feels good. Right down here is your USB and aux input. Glovebox is just this crummy feeling. It's not lined or anything. It's all just hard plastic. There's a pen holder, though, and a little bit of storage there. So, I mean, the quality for the most part is there, with the exception of this. The head unit's really nice. The steering wheel's really nice. The doors feel nice when you close them, but so it's got that basic build quality, but it's like, it's just kind of cheap and dated, unfortunately. But it has a decent enough chassis, so it drives all right. So anyway, that's a quick look at the inside. Oh, here's the Windows sticker. So you can see it's a 2017 1.4 turbo. And you can see here, it's actually pretty nice. I forgot to mention, it does have a rear view camera. It's got blind spot monitoring, so, you know, decent equipment levels for the price, which is hiding right here, $23,000. And you can see it's got a couple of optional extras. You got the Monster splash guards and the Monster mats in the back. And good fuel economy rating here, 32 combined, 28 highway. So it's very fuel efficient. Like I said, it's a good, cheap, volume seller commuter car. Got some good safety features. I particularly like the blind spot monitoring and the rear traffic alert. So that's nice. But, oh, I forgot to turn it on. Let's turn it on. So, I mean, it's pretty smooth. Engine's pretty quiet. It sounds like a nice, perky little engine. One thing to note, this is a belt cam, though, so it's not chain cam. Just pay attention to that. Rear view camera looks pretty nice, actually. Good quality. You can see that my filthy Audi S3. The resolution is pretty decent for a cheap, relatively cheap car. However, these are just distance lines. They do not have trajectory. But one nice thing is you can go, I think you have to like move, you can go into the menu here, and you can like fool around with, it's not very intuitive. There it is. I was really slow, so the menu will eventually pop up and you can like fool around with the color and the contrast and the brightness of the rear camera, so that's kind of nice. 4-speaker stereo. It's not great, but it has at least it has enough bass to kind of fool you into thinking it's halfway decent. It's pretty muddy sounding, but it's not bad for a bass 4-speaker stereo. Before I forget, let's not leave the car in reverse. Take a quick peek at the engine, I guess. I'm not going to have you look at it very long because there's no strut hinges. God, that's heavy. All right. 1.4, like I said. Of course, that's locked. Well, I won't bother getting back in here, but there's a decent amount of rear seat room. There's 12-volt outlet, some storage. Obviously, in some higher trim levels, those would probably be vents. Sneaking back in here, this feels pretty solid. This is pretty sturdy. No storage in here, but there's a couple cup holders. You got your pass-through right there. 60/40 split folding seats, so that's nice. Check out the trunk. The trunk also has a release on it as well. Trunk release is right here next to the camera. One thing to note: this is plastic. It's not a carpeted material, but there is a grab handle on each side. Emergency release. This is one of the optional nice Volkswagen mats, the cargo protection ones. It's a pretty square shape, as you can see. Fold the seats down with these controls here. However, unfortunately, it does have the hinges that will smash your cargo, so just watch out for that. Anyway, this is just a quick look at the 2017 Jetta SE 1.4T. Overall, like I said, it's not a bad car. The materials really aren't very good in here, but it's, for the most part, pretty solidly screwed together. If you appreciate that type of, German build quality, it's still here. Just the materials need to catch up. Closer look at the trim while I'm at it. So, sorry I'm kind of jumping around, but anywho, just want to give you guys a look at it. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully we'll have a driving video up, but we will see how that goes. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye.